It's still happy hour with John Gaskins. This round's on me.
Hey, let's talk Jackrabbit defense on Jackrabbit Day here on Happy Hour. He leads the defense, Brian Bergstrom, second year as the defensive coordinator under Dan Jackson. Previously, a few years as co-defensive coordinator with Jimmy Rogers under John Stiegelmeier. And you were just mentioning how, and we're just sitting here 2 weeks before the season starts on Media Day. Players are lining up to take photos. How long have you been cumulatively at SDSU?
Well, the first time I was here for about 5.5 years.
Yeah.
And then left for 3 years, 2.5 years to be the head football coach at Winona State.
Right.
And then now have been back for one season, about a year and a half.
And by the way, the Jacks Chats you did with Matt Zimmer, the Jacks Chat back in April, highly recommend. Google it. Brian Bergstrom, Zimmer, Jacks Chats about Bergie being back.
Yeah,
and how being a head coach was a great perspective for you to have for a couple of years to come back and then and lead one unit. You've said that in many ways it's the same as the Stiegelmeier days, and in some ways it's different. Like days like these, practices, the operation in general. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think the reason that my family and I came back is because of the place that it is and the people that it holds.
Yeah.
You know, SDSU is a special place because of the people ultimately. So much of that is the same.
Yeah.
In terms of the high character and quality of the people and the culture. And but college football is different than it was a few years ago or a few weeks ago.
I should look into that.
So some of the way we operate is different, and this is a new team. You know, it's a new staff. So I think it's a unique combination of coming back home to a place I'm very familiar with, but it's also very fresh and new as well.
How would you describe the defensive unit you've been working with up until this very point? Like, what have you seen out of them?
Well, I told him this morning that I don't know that I've seen a group grow as much as this group has. And we could look at it from all the way to last season, but we could also look at it in the last 11 practices. And I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches and a lot of good players and some high caliber national championship type defenses.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen one that has grown like this one. We still have work to do, but so much improvement and just such a fun group to be around.
In what ways has it grown?
We know each other better. The players know each other better. The players know the coaches better. The coaches know the coaches better.
Well,
the coaches know the players better. And then we all understand the system and the scheme better. Yeah. So what I've seen the most from our guys, and it's been so exciting, and it's a credit to our coaches coaching at a high level, but our guys learning at a high level, is using the system to solve problems on the field by themselves. Like, if we're doing our job as coaches, we don't need to solve every problem for them. We need to teach them the tools to do it.
Can your mind race to any moment in August camp, since we're that close to the season, you're getting close to game situations, where you saw something pop, a player or a unit made a huge play that they may have not made at this time last year, as an example of this kind of growth that you've been seeing?
I think it was around practice 5 or 6. I'd be lying to say I remember. All the days kind of run together right now.
Was there a moment?
But there was a moment in time where we clicked off a fair amount of communication before a play.
Yeah.
Our offense does a great job of moving around and making things confusing on you at times. And we made the play, and then the confidence that ensued in a good way, like a humble and hungry confidence. If I were to look back, I would say that's like a microcosm of what's been happening throughout this camp.
Okay. I look at last year's defensive stats, just like rankings nationally, pretty good in a lot of areas. 13th total defense, 24th scoring defense, 10th in turnover margin, 8th third down conversions. What metrics do you look at the most that are most important to you, and in particularly ones that you thought you really honed in on in the offseason before you got out on the field, and certainly since you've been out here?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, the number one stat or analytics or the thing we're looking at is winning the game. And whether,
that's head coach.
Yeah, and that's the head coach.
Yeah, I get it.
But I have also gained perspective in coaching as well, that if we win 7-6, great. If we win 76-75, great. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. But at the end of the day, points is number one. We want to limit points.
Yeah.
And we believe that looking at takeaways, red zone efficiency, third down efficiency, limiting explosive plays like big plays by the offense, and then us creating havoc plays. Those would be the metrics that we're looking at on a game-to-game basis.
What needed to improve most on this defense?
I think the consistency, and you can just look at the box scores. You don't even need to watch the games. You look at the box scores of our team last year, our defense last year, and it was too up and down, where we played at a high level at times, and we played at a really low level at times. And that, where I've seen growth, going back to a question a few minutes ago, is we are a much more consistent defense right now as well. So we got to keep that up.
When a season ends the way it does, everybody except for the national champion finishes, that makes the playoffs, finishes on a loss. But, gave up a lot of points in that game. So did everybody who played Montana last year. But do you then, when you go back to the drawing board to try to elevate your defense to be a national championship caliber defense this year, how much do you go off of that game and that bar, or do you not?
It's a combination. I think you have to look at the season in whole. You got to look at how you manage the wear and tear of the season. If you turn on our Sac State film and watch us fly around, just watching guys run, and then watching them run, whether they were even doing the right thing or not, or it was a good call by me or not, we were a worn down football team by the time we were at Montana. So that we got to manage, and I think we're doing a good job of managing our guys' reps and making sure that we're healthy for the long haul. And we were. That's the thing about the last game, is it's always the freshest in your memory. Yeah. So it's hard to get rid of. You want to get back out on the field. And it's been in our defensive meetings on the way out of the tunnel at Montana after getting beat in the playoffs. I took a picture up. There's a long ramp up Montana, and I took that picture at that time, saying it was just kind of symbolic in that moment. We got a long way to go. The journey back. And I've kept that up in my office and showed the defense to them. So if you're asking if I still remember it, I do. And it's motivating to me and to us.
2 player-specific questions. And I'm going to lump one of those 2 questions with 2 players just in lieu of time. Because I don't want you to be the last guy that gets up there.
We got a picture coming up.
Reese Kirschman and Chase Van Tol, not having players of that impact, what kind of a difference did it make when you lost them? If you can give us an example, and then obviously having them back.
Yeah, when you look at really good football players, they have the ability to know what they're doing and to play at a really, really, really high level and fast level, and almost like on the edge of out of control, but they're not. And that's part of their strength. And I think both of them play at a speed and a good recklessness and a almost like they don't care if it doesn't go well, and I think you got to do that. You got to risk not making the play to make a play. And I think both those guys have it, and they have fun. And they're fast and athletic and bendy, and they have fun and playing the game. You just see their joy.
The other, and this is where we'll end it on, I can't get you out of here without asking about Carter Sitzman. Why did he captivate you from Wayne State to bring him in, and what have you seen from him since he got here?
Yeah, I think. I remember Carter. I remember Carter when he was in high school. I remember I was in that league at Winona State playing against him, so I remembered the name. And when we found out that there might be a possibility of him being in the portal and getting him, we were super excited. And I think his ability to, similar to the 2 guys we just talked about, and Reese and Chase Van Tol, that play at a high speed. And he's got physical gifts, and he never takes a play off. It's constant. It's constant, and you can see that when you turn the film on. And a lot of times when you either know it's a yes or a no when you watch the film, and it's not always one specific reason, but it's pretty clear when you watch him.
Looking forward to seeing it on Saturdays. Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it, John.
Brian Bergstrom, defensive coordinator here on Happy Hour.